I'm Jen.
Friday for crazy start on this one. This is take number two. Our dog just kind of killed us on the first one, but we're good to go. Everything is good to go. We're going to start off by saying everything that we say is just purely our opinions
It's for
uh,
entertainment purposes
for
only.
entertainment purposes only.
This is
Yes.
there's nothing musical or musical.
What? No, no, no,
No
absolutely not. So
news.
newsworthy.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I'm just making up words. Like, anyways, we are here for just for fun. These are just our opinions for entertainment only. And if you enjoy us, please like, share, subscribe. Subscription is absolutely free.
Yep.
It's just a way of letting us know that you are enjoying us and to continue on with our content.
Absolutely. So I wanted to start out with I was reading an article earlier today. The article took place, or the subject of the article took place in Florida.
Oh, so it's one of those Florida stories, huh?
It is. It is. And in Florida, I believe, I believe that recreational marijuana is legal in.
It is not. I don't believe.
It's not in Florida.
No.
Okay, then that
not,
makes this
believe.
story even better. So this couple, they were driving around in Florida, and they ended up.
They do have medical marijuana, I believe.
Yeah, you know what they do. That actually does make sense. They have medical marijuana, so that actually makes sense for this story. So they were driving through, and they came out of Orange County, Florida, no problem. But they end up in Polk County, Florida, and they get arrested. And because on their van, they are advertising for marijuana and stuff like that, no medical ID required, and all that stuff. So I had to see, what this van looked like, to see if they were being conspicuous, whatever. So I actually printed out a picture of this, and I have to show this to you because.
So what did they get arrested for?
So they got arrested for possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, right? Because it's not legal. But here is the picture of their van. So this is what they're driving around in. You can see that picture. Right there. It is purely just covered in pot leaves and says mobile dispensary, has QR codes and everything. They weren't hiding it. So here's the best part. So
That's fantastic.
If you use their QR code, you can go right to their menus, right? And that's what they're actually saying this in the article. But then the cops came up with this thing and they said, well, I don't think they were very good at business because they were trying to charge for less than 1 gram of marijuana, less than 1 gram, $3,500. So, yeah, they weren't the smartest. So what they were doing.
That doesn't even remotely make sense.
I know. That's the funny part. So what they were doing is that he actually did have a medical card for marijuana in Florida, him and his girlfriend. So they would buy it and then they were trying to resell it, right? So that's it. So their claim was, well, they bought it fair and square. They should be able to sell it to whoever they want. Yeah, these are the people that are trying to make a living in Florida. So, but but yeah, he drove around. I mean, the entire thing is covered in pot leaves.
It's the dumbing of America. I mean, seriously, like, oh my goodness gracious alive. Everybody wants to take the easy way out. I mean, but that had to cost some money to get that wrapped like that.
That is a crazy wrap job.
And that is just legendary stupidity at its finest. Like, I don't even understand.
This is so amazing. That is the side of the van. It is so crazy to me. I saw that. That just made me laugh. So I had to print that one out.
Well, hey.
The only other news out there right now is about the DNC, and I really don't care. So, the Democratic National
Convention. Yeah, no, it's not that we don't want to talk about any of the politics right now because it is just it's terrifying. It's depressing. It's you want to put your head through a wall. It's just not worth it at this point in juncture. I'm sure we might have a conversation here shortly because there's an election coming up here soon, and so we're not going to be able to hide under a rock forever. However, now is not the time. That said, I do have something I want to talk about.
Oh, what you got?
So I was reading an article, and I actually joked with you about the headline yesterday. Well, it's not a joking; it was more kind of a holy moly type of thing, like a National Enquirer, but it's really true.
Okay.
So it is this person out of Atlanta who had a brain bleed. It was called an intracranial hemorrhage.
Okay.
And when he had the brain bleed, they actually had to cut a portion of the skull out to allow for the swelling, for the brain bleed,
Okay.
with the intention of replacing.
Well, you put it back in. It's basically it's a patch. You're cutting
Right.
out a patch.
So they take it out, they store it,
Yeah.
and then when you're ready to put it back in, they put it back in. Well,
In theory.
this hospital lost. They lost it.
They lost his skull, the part that they
The
cut
last,
out.
yeah, they and
Okay.
not only that, there were numerous skull pieces, skull flaps, I believe is what they call them.
Okay.
There was numerous there that it could have been. However, they were either incompletely, they didn't have a complete number on them, or they were mislabeled or not labeled at all.
Okay.
So they couldn't guarantee that in fact was his skull flap. So therefore, they had to make a synthetic one.
Okay.
They made that. Not only did they do that, they then charged this gentleman for this. Okay, so
And
they
I bel-
lost it.
So they lost it. They fixed it, but then they charged him to fix it.
Correct.
How much did they charge him?
I think that portion was like 19,000 or something like that
Okay.
too. But no. It actually gets worse.
Oh.
So
Jeez.
having to use the synthetic portion of the skull
Okay.
actually takes longer to heal, according to the lawsuit that these people, the gentleman and his wife filed on behalf of him.
Good.
He took longer to heal. He ended up getting an infection. He had a whole plethora of issues because of this,
Okay.
to the tune of 140 something thousand additional dollars above and beyond what was already incurred because of
Their mistake.
because of the brain bleed in general.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
and then because of their mistake, now this additional was all it happened
Damn.
because of.
Damn.
Yeah, so the hospital is claiming that they were at no fault. So,
They were at no fault. Okay. Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
so this is in the court system.
Well, the crazy part is they'll win. The people will win, and they'll get paid millions and billions of dollars. But hopefully, that guy can have some kind of normal semblance of life after it. Everybody
No,
lives.
he can't. He's permanently.
Damn.
Yeah, he's never gonna be the same. And
So all that money's just going to go for care to keep him alive, as long as they,
Mhm.
Damn, that sucks.
And I don't know that he would necessarily have been the same, anyhow. However,
I mean, he had some
However,
kind of brain thing,
because
but-
of according to what the family is alleging, because of the synthetic piece and things that happened because of having the synthetic piece,
Yeah.
it made it worse to the
No,
point
it's-
where he would never. So I mean, my thoughts and prayers. I mean, I couldn't even imagine.
Nah, that's
I
terrible.
mean, it's hard enough to have something, and that was just obviously it's an unexpected thing. It's not something. It's just a
Yeah.
But
No
that
fun-
goes to show you, you just have to appreciate life every day for what it is and understand that
Speaking of
it's short.
a little update, the other day we used boiling water on red ant hills. What do you feel? I feel like it was I feel like it was effective.
At this point, yes, I think that was the most effective
Boiling water, pour it, just a big old pot of it.
home non-chemical remedy, if you will.
Yeah.
We did use other chemicals that they claim to use, bleach.
Well, we didn't. Yeah, but even on some of the ones I didn't use that because I went off to the side when I had more water, and I think it absolutely took them out, and it destroyed their whole
Colony.
encampment. Yeah. So
Yeah.
boiling water, red ants, highly recommend
Well,
it.
thus far.
So far.
So we haven't had anything. It's been 2 days. We haven't had anything pop back up, but they're red ants. So who knows? They're pretty durable.
They are.
We have plenty more red ant hills to go. So, if you have anything like sort of secret, my goodness, please let us know, because
Yeah.
these red ants are just the
Great.
devil. They are the devil. They're like mosquitoes. They're just, I don't even know if they serve a purpose, but they're just,
I don't know what they do.
they're horrible.
Well, they love your ankles.
But you're allergic to them, so it's worse for
Oh.
you. I mean, for me, it's just annoying. Like, think would be for anybody, but for you, it's really bad.
Yeah, I only got bad twice in my life. Once was at that softball tournament, and I was standing off to the side. All of a sudden, my legs were on fire. I had no
Mhm.
idea what it was. Found that out really quick. And then the one time at just here at the house, a couple of them got me.
Mm.
But I do a pretty good job avoiding those things. They're pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Not my jam.
No.
Definitely not my jam.
So we've talked in the past about shows that we've been watching, and we keep forgetting to mention that we watch Suits.
We do watch
We
Suits.
have mentioned it, maybe I'm not sure, but even if we haven't, we have started watching Suits. We
Yes.
never watched it before when it first came out. It's in its entirety
They
on
ju-
Netflix.
it is. They just released the 9th season. We are right now middle of the season 5. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
really
There
is.
have
It's
been
so
times
good.
where it's emotional, honest to
Mhm.
goodness. I have gotten so angry
Mhm.
at certain characters on the
Situations, yeah.
shows or certain situations where I'm like, you need to turn it off. I'm like mad at that person. Like I had to
Mhm.
walk away. And to me, that's a good show. Like something
is.
that can elicit that kind of emotion, especially from somebody like me who's kind of like, this is stupid and hokey and whatever. I mean, you really, in the beginning, I was unsure of certain characters and certain, ways they were going. And I really like the show a lot. I
Yeah,
really do.
this
I
one's a
am
good
really
one.
invested. It's kind of like how I felt about Scandal.
I never-
You never watched Scandal
I
with
did not
me,
watch
but I
that one.
really enjoyed it. I never finished um the
How to Get Away with Murder?
no, I never finished like the whole
Oh, you never went through
series.
the whole series?
I'm
Oh.
sorry. The word I was looking for was series. I never
Oh.
finished the whole series. But what I did watch, I really, really enjoyed.
I gotcha.
I don't remember why I stopped. I think life just happened, and
Yeah, and our late night sitcom now, because that's what I usually watch one episode before I go to bed, has turned into How I Met Your Mother.
yeah, we finished
We did finish
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That was what we were watching. We gave Young Sheldon a try for a minute, and it was just we kept falling asleep.
Yeah, it didn't grab me. So
We're not opposed to it, but it just wasn't
yeah.
working at this time.
No,
So
but How I Met Your Mother it's turning. I'm in the 2nd season, and it's really good. I
Mhm.
enjoy that. Neil Patrick Harris is a gold mine for
yeah,
an actor.
he's funny. There's
He was so good.
there's-
Um,
there's times where the show's a little hokey for me, and it kind of a little
yeah.
but there are times where it really does make me laugh. So it is worth it, at
Yeah,
least for
that one's a
background,
good
if you're
one.
looking for something funny to watch that's not
Yeah, or
so.
binge watch, or something on in the background.
Yeah.
I think it's got 8 or 9 seasons. It's good. I'm enjoying it. It does. There are parts that have made me laugh legitimately out loud. So, and to me, that's a win-win.
And then also on Netflix, the limited series that we watched was it was Harlan Corbin's. I believe it's Safe. It has the guy from Dexter
Yes, that
in
was
there.
good.
It was he lives in a gated community and his daughter goes missing.
Mhm.
And it's is she dead? Is she kidnapped? Is she whatever? And it's a limited series. It's start to finish. There's no cliffhanger. It's open to close.
8 episodes.
8 episodes, and it's set in the UK. However, you can understand them. Sometimes I have a hard time if it's really heavy accented. That it makes it hard for me to watch. Because I can't necessarily understand what they're saying. However, it's not like that. It's a really good show. It's a genuine whodunit. There's some plot twists in there and
Yeah,
some.
there is.
It's a really good show. There's not
The
really
only
violence
the
or
only issue I had with it is because the actor, I'd only known the main actor from Dexter,
Oh,
and Dexter's
yes.
a very distinct role, so I kept picturing him in that role in the show, and then so that was my only downfall on that one.
your phone with you again.
I did. Hold on, let me put it on airplane. Sorry, it's done. Sorry about that. So yes, so that one was very good. I did get it. We did get a chance to watch the Bryson and John Daly Breaking 50. They did not make it, but I could tell that Bryson was getting annoyed.
For golf or non-golf people.
Yeah.
Bryson DeChambeau is like the number one golfer in the world, and he's
He's one of the top ones.
for ladies. He's hot. He really
But
is.
he,
He's young, but
Yeah, he plays on the Live Tour, but his YouTube channel he's created this series called Breaking 50, and he plays with these other good golfers or YouTube golfers or people that generate interest. He played this last one prior with Donald Trump, and they almost made it. Trump is actually surprisingly it's awkward as hell.
they almost made what?
Breaking 50, so,
Which is what?
at that course was 21 under par. But what they do is they play it from the front tees, and they're trying to do it. He hasn't done it yet.
They're trying to get 50.
Shoot 50 less than 50. So
Right, and
it's
they
very hard.
basically do it as a two-man scramble, and what they do is they take the best ball of each of the two players with each stroke,
Yep.
and then go from there and try to get so par for that course is
The last one they played was par 71, so they were trying
try to get it
they were trying to
21 under
yeah.
what
So-
par is, and it's a but he goes with really professionally. It's two really great guys. So
Yeah,
with that, he does interviews.
He does, and John Daly is kind of a crazy guy, but he wasn't taking it fully seriously. He putted a couple of one-handed. That's why I thought Bryson was getting a little annoyed. But they said they're going to do it again, and I have a feeling they'll do it. But yeah, he still hasn't been able to do it. He did it with Donald Trump. He did a couple with the YouTube guys, Paige Spiranek, and Daly just hasn't been able to do it yet. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But that was
Unattainable
really
goal, or
no, they're going to
kind of like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Somebody's eventually going to do it.
No, they're gonna get it, and it's just gonna take the right amount. Both players have to be hot on the same day. If you have one hot and one just okay, it's not gonna happen because you got to have them both hot, and they just haven't had it yet. They will. I think they
Speaking
will.
of that, with players being hot or not, I joked about it all season with my son. He, through his golf season, our son played varsity golf. In high school this past year, and then through his summer season, he played these tournaments. We've talked about throughout the summer in South Carolina. They have the Hootie Series. Darius Rucker sponsors a golf series for the youth, so they can have tournaments and stuff to earn points, which points is what they need for college and so on and so forth. Anyways, so I had always joked that it was the parent. I was always at the tournaments and, the matches and whatever. And the parents that I always got stuck with, or the kids that were playing Braden, always ended up having the worst game ever. And then they felt the need to tell me how their child is like the best of the best at home, but this is just his worst ever. And, it's funny that, even watching the John Daly and Bryson DeChambeau thing, these guys can be the best of the best, and it should be an attainable goal, but sometimes they just have the worst rounds ever.
Yeah.
And, it's just, it happens,
It happens.
especially in golf. And, as much as I joked about, oh my goodness, every kid must have the worst round ever, that's golf.
So it's actually funny you say that. So this weekend they had in the PGA Tour, they had the first round of the playoffs, and Rory McIlroy, who's the number 2 player in the world of golf, finished second to last.
Yeah, there's a kid this summer
it does happen.
He was kicking butt in every tournament, it wasn't even close. And then he played in this big tournament that our son was in, and they were like, they shot the same thing. It was, so again, it's everybody can have the best day.
Yeah.
And sometimes even a turd can shine like a damn diamond, and you just can have the best day ever. Kind of like in Caddyshack with the priest, and it was pouring rain, and he was shooting his best round of golf ever, and he was just good. It happens.
It does happen. Ooh, what are we doing?
The dogs, they're absolutely insane. Our dogs are crazy. They are truly, and I've said it, they're like toddlers. Like, they do not bother us until we are doing something where we just can't give them our full attention.
So, got some sad news today that Donahue died today.
Phil Donahue.
Phil Donahue died
For
today.
those of you who don't know, he was kind of like the precursor to like a Maury Povich.
Yes.
And the results are in.
He was actually, I believe, one of the first daytime talk show hosts.
It was him against Donahue against Oprah, I believe, is truly what it was back when she was having it was more matter of fact.
Who else was one of the early ones? When did Sally Jesse come on?
She was maybe a little bit after them.
Okay.
There was quite a few back in the day. There was Jenny Jones.
I did enjoy Jenny Jones.
I did too. There was Sally Jesse Raphael. Then became Maury Povich.
I did like Maury. And you know what the funny part about Maury was? Because for so long...
Is he still on?
No, he has since retired. But the funny part is, if you remember Maury's show
Jerry
from
Springer
back in the day, it used to be a whole bunch of topics. But the last 5 years, he strictly went to lie detectors and if you're not the father. And it worked.
But Phil Donahue was I think he was more news.
No, he was.
He got more.
He did not interview celebrities, but more news people, I believe. I think he tackled more issues.
Yes.
I think that's a good way to put it. It's not like the the trash of the, let's say, the Springers and
The more Poaches.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Ricky
he was.
Lakes and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I mean, but for a long time, those shows were popular. I couldn't even tell you now who has a show. Does Kelly Clarkson have one? I think she's
She
got one. Does Carrie
did.
Underwood have one?
I don't.
I
Maybe she did, but I'm not sure. I know Drew Barrymore does.
okay. Is
Um,
Rachel Ray still got hers?
maybe.
Maybe I don't know. I know they've gone to more of these ensemble wine fests. The View and all that garbage. I not my thing. I couldn't even tell you another one that's out there. Um, but I think that's like the current fad, and that might even be fading. So what's going to be the next daytime fad? Is it going to be back to single talk shows? Is it going to be variety shows? I don't know.
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, do people really watch it?
I don't know. And Jimmy
I mean, honestly, do people really watch TV or do they more stream? I think that people don't want to, you know,
Jimmy Kimmel said it. He came out this week and said something very interesting. He said within the next 10 years there won't be any more nighttime talk shows. There just won't be. Um, and I tend to believe him because, like you said, people just don't. They don't care. It's just not resonating anymore. Where they're getting that top. Like when Jay Leno and Johnny Carson and David Letterman were doing it, they were getting tens of millions of people watching every night. My grandparents used to watch it religiously. But now our generation, I don't think, does watch those as much. And Jimmy Fallon
well,
to me is
because
a
it's
flash in the
so
pan.
it's so hokey and it's so um honestly it's so woke and so needlessly political. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
needlessly opinionated. It's needlessly uh, s- it's not funny. It used to be satire. It used to be, pick on candidates, but do it equally, not maliciously about one
right.
and blow smoke up the other one's ass. Like it's to the point where you've picked sides and made it uncomfortable for others to watch.
Yeah,
And I think that's where you start to lose it. And then you have the generation where they just don't care. So they're not going to spend their time watching you being really annoying at points. They would rather just stream something. And the celebrities, quite frankly, who cares?
yeah. It's
It's really who cares. Like, there with social media and everything now, they put it all out there anyways. So
yeah.
it's really who cares. And I think that now that the society is I think celebrities lost a lot of pull too, though.
Well, I think people like me started realizing I don't really give a shit what, or pardon my language, I don't give a crap what a celebrity thinks. Their endorsements means nothing to me, but I mean that's what we've known our whole lives. Like how many people bought Michael Jordan shoes because Michael Jordan wore them, whatever, promoted them.
But he was a celebrity, so you were hoping to be like him.
Okay.
But a lot of these celebrities aren't staying in their lane, and I think that what's happening is people are kind of like, dude, slow your roll. You're not even in the rest of our realm.
No, yeah, but I think people are fighting so hard to stay relevant in a time when the 15 minutes of fame is so. That's just kind of what it is right now.
And the stuff that these celebrities are slinging isn't stuff that even people can afford. Like these purses and these brands and stuff that they're modeling and they're behind and they're repped by. The average everyday person couldn't even begin to afford anything remotely close to it.
So I don't believe that is what the goal is of those ads are meant for people like you or me or whoever to be in awe or envy what they have. It's not necessarily that we're ever going to be able to purchase it or whatever.
But it's not even good
but
looking
then
stuff.
no, it's not. And it's just status and name. I mean, like Yeezys are ugly shoes, but $150, $200 a shoe. Some of the stuff they wear at these runway shows. I mean, come on. It's not. There's nothing
It's
fashionable about it.
ridiculous.
It's
It is
stupid stuff.
absolutely ridiculous looking. This high end, some of this high end
Yeah.
fashion. It's maybe we're stupid. Maybe we're
The
ridiculous.
price the
But
price of these shoes now that they're over $200. Here's the funny part: they still don't cost more than $5 to make. Yet there were now people are charging over $200 for
okay,
shoes. I
let's
don't.
just say I'm sorry, but you do pay for quality, and I do have secrets to shopping, which at
Great,
one point we can get into. But
but even
I don't
so,
buy it because a celebrity does. I buy it because oh my goodness.
I'm just talking about Jordans or whatever. It's still there's a huge markup there because they want to pay for you pay for the advertising, you pay for the name, you pay for that. So you're not paying for the quality on stuff like that. You're paying for that that you've got Jordan, you've got LeBron, you've got KDs, you've got whatever. That's what you're paying for, and that's what drives me insane.
Back to celebrities. With all of these, let's get back to movies and TV shows. With all these movies and TV shows that we've been watching, do you know what I've kind of noticed?
What's that?
Some of these bigger name people aren't really good actors.
We are finding that there's some we've sat back and been like, ew. But we've actually seen where classic actors, who am I thinking of on Only Murders in the Building?
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin.
Martin Short.
And Martin Short are so good.
Meryl Streep.
Oh, so incredibly good. So the ones that actually, the talented, like truly talented ones, just shine and just make it. But I agree, because there's so much out there, some people just aren't good actors.
Yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm like, how are you the big thing? Like, I don't get it.
I felt that way watching Thor. I was like, oh, okay. I felt that way watching Aquaman too. But I think it's more of the look and the package rather than the actual. Because if you think about it, back on Nicolas Cage, he is what he is, but I enjoy him as an actor. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I guess it's just. But
both with Thor and Aquaman, we liked the movies.
I did enjoy the movies. I was,
but like with Roadhouse, I think that Jake Gyllenhaal, I have no idea. That was, take away the fact that they redid Roadhouse. Now, they weren't the same. They were kind of the same, but they weren't the same. But it was horrible. Like, the acting was horrible.
I wanted to like that so much, and there are parts of it, some of the fight scenes, and
it was kind of like
it was over the top, which is fine. But
Lifetime movies are better.
Oh God,
honestly,
I was so disappointed in that one. I really was, and
there was no story, and it was, and we were talking about it, and I said it was because it was all like bang, 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 and you lost the story. Like in the original Roadhouse, there was actually a plot.
There was a plot.
There truly was a plot. There was, and with this one, it was. So much it never settled down enough for you to. There was so much that there was so many.
Yeah. Conor McGregor was great in it though, because he just did what Conor McGregor does.
Yeah, but
it wasn't very good.
If you like the flash bang boom, hey.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't
horrible, but it wasn't.
It definitely wasn't.
Jake Gyllenhaal is.
I don't know what it was. I just think that's how they wanted him to play it, and I didn't like the way it just wasn't very good.
So we started watching the Nickelback documentary.
We did.
Needless to say, I said starting to watch it, and he's a Nickelback fan. I'm not a Nickelback fan. I'm not. I'm like I enjoy it. I'm not like, oh, Nickelback, I gotta hear it, but I don't.
There are certain songs by Nickelback, if they're on, I have to hear them and I have to turn them up.
I like their lesser music, but with anything, I like hate overplayed stuff. So sure. I'm like a B-sides girl. So that said, we did not get very far.
No, but it was late and I just kind of fell asleep. That's why that's why I like my sitcoms at night. They're 22 minutes and then I'm out. And that's kind of where my brain was that night. I think that's what we made it. And I wasn't in the mood to focus. I was more in the mood for just kind of relaxing, and that's why I'm gonna watch it, and I'm excited to watch it because it's interesting. I didn't even know two of them were brothers.
Me either.
Yeah, so
I think there's a cousin in there, isn't there?
There could be. He leave? They're out of this small. They all grew up in this small little town, Hannah, just outside of Calgary, and 2,900 people in this town, and they made it. So it's gonna be an interesting story.
We also started watching. And haven't finished one called Killer Sally, and this was about a bodybuilding woman who was like a former Marine. She came from a really broken home. She was abused. Like she really has a tough story to hear. Her husband was a bodybuilder as well back in this was the 95. 90s, I believe is when this happened. Anyways. We got through a couple of episodes of it, and
there's only 3. We got through the first 2, and that at that point we found out that the relationship went south.
He was using steroids. It was
kind of strange.
One of them
got shot. by the other.
She- yeah.
So she killed him, and then no, I mean,
Well,
it's why it's
obviously, Killer Sally.
So she killed
Okay.
him. So then we're just into, when we get back to it, we'll get her whole reasoning for it and all that stuff. A little slow moving for my taste.
Yeah, it's.
So that's why we hadn't really gotten to the third one, because it probably could have gotten done in about 30-minute episodes, and that would have been a bit of a stretch. But they've put it out to 3 a little over an hour episodes, so it's like there's only so much you can say. I get it. There's a backstory, but once you hear the original backstory, then they just tell the same backstory because it's the same stuff over and over again. So, like I said, could have been done a little bit. The story's interesting. So if you get a chance, just understand it runs a little long, so be ready to fast forward through a couple parts. But not bad. Not bad.
No, yeah,
We'll get back to the end of it.
maybe.
Maybe. And then we did watch Iron Man 3.
Yes, we did.
Wait,
So-
what else did we watch? Right before that. We did Thor and then Iron Man 3. Is that are we in the right order there?
Yeah,
Is that where
Yeah.
we're at? Was it Thor?
because we've been watching the Marvel movies, so we're watching them in order. And
Avengers Avengers came
we
after
watched an
Thor?
Avengers.
We did. I
They
forget
did-
the order. So we're on Iron Man 3. That's the one I could talk about right now.
Yeah, we watched Iron Man 3.
It was good. It obviously was focusing. It didn't have as much pizzazz or action as I was accustomed to in the other ones. It was more story related, which is fine. Because Robert Downey Jr. is fantastic either way. Anyway, but I would have wanted a little bit more.
He wants more
bang.
fight scenes.
Yeah, because that's part of what I enjoy. So, but it was a good movie. It moved the story along too.
Yeah.
So I mean, left it right where it's gonna continue on.
I think the next one we watch is a Thor movie. The Thor. Maybe.
I think you're right. I
I think our next one is a Thor movie. We're supposed to, because we've watched one Thor movie. We're supposed to watch another Thor movie.
Okay.
I don't know. Don't worry. We will watch them in order properly. Our sons will make sure of it. Our oldest sons.
Yeah, he had to skip a couple of them. There's a couple that were not supposed
Hulk. He said, "Don't worry about."
But there was another one.
Captain Marvel, maybe the girl one.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
Was that it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and I don't know why. I don't know why we would skip it, but if it doesn't add anything
yeah,
to the
I'm
show,
not sure.
whatever.
Hmm.
What else do we have? I've been waiting for the challenge to come out, so they've got it on MTV, but now Paramount won't tell us when it's going to come out on Paramount.
Big Brother.
No.
We do watch Big Brother.
We do watch Big Brother, yes.
Yes, we do, and we've talked about going on Big Brother. Like, which one of the two of us could go on Big Brother? I think we both could go on Big Brother.
So here's the thing about Big Brother, in case y'all don't watch it. You could be in there up to 90 days, and you do competitions each week. It's a social game. Here are the things. There's no cell phones, no connection to the outside world, so you don't even know what's going on.
But part of me thinks that Big Brother's a production setup.
No, I don't believe that. I think part of the
That Angela chick was on.
oh, she might
Let's
be.
Make a Deal.
So
Dr. Phil, The Price is Right, and that Brooklyn chick was on Dr. Phil, and now they're both on there. So
here's what I'm going to say to that. I'm not saying that you couldn't be correct.
I mean, don't get me wrong,
these are
CBS,
also-
because I really, really want to go on Survivor.
these
So
also could be people that just constantly, that's what they want to do. So they're just, they put into
The pick-me
being on-
girls.
Well, they take the time, they make the tapes, they audition, and they do all of this stuff. And this could have been Angela's 5th or 6th time, just trying to get on the show. She changed it up, and she is full of energy. She's a whack job, but she's full of energy.
she's not afraid to put it all out there. I mean, honest to goodness.
Now, I believe that I would be fine in Big Brother. That's my opinion. I think more level-headed in those situations, and my issue would be dealing with stupid people. But in the competitions, I would rock and roll. So I'd have to.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Oh, competitions, absolutely. I'd kill the competitions. Absolutely. That is not doubt in my mind. Now, I could not do Survivor. Not a chance. As cool as Fiji would be, I would never be able to sleep because knowing there's creepy crawlers everywhere. I'm out. Now, and we could do Amazing Race.
Yeah.
I think Amazing Race, you and I could be very successful at.
Or we would give really great TV.
I think so too. I mean,
Because honest to goodness, there's times where you should hear us because I want to slap the ever living you know what out of him, and I'm sure he wants to do it right back.
I think
and
it'd be funny
is-
to watch you try and drive stick.
I can't drive stick.
That's why it'd be
But I've never
hilarious.
tried. Well, honestly, when
Oh,
I was a little
God.
girl, like my grandpa would let me do the. He would hit the clutch and let me do the.
Yeah, the clutch is kind of the important part.
Listen, my first car was carbureted.
Oh, God.
It was a 1986 Plymouth Horizon, and we lived in Illinois, like just north of Chicago. And so in the wintertime, I would have to drive 2-footed. So that's probably the same.
It is.
Because you have to keep one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas because it's carbureted. It's not fuel injected. So you have to get the.
No, you just got to just slide it into gear. So it just takes a little touch. But yeah, you'd be able to do it. But definitely Amazing Race. We'd both be able to do it. That would be a lot of fun.
It would.
Big Brother, I think you would struggle. I think you would slap somebody. They would just piss you off.
Yeah, but I would make for good TV.
It would, but you get kicked out of there. And
I know I wouldn't physically hit somebody. I'm not a violent woman. Shut up, Jake.
Kicked out. I don't think you'd hit someone, but you get kicked out too.
Wow. So even her son thinks she would get kicked out of Big Brother. So, but hey, that's all right.
Like you make it to week 4.
Listen,
Wow, this is the first month.
I have to tell people what I think.
You do. There's nothing wrong with that.
You're out.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. And like my family says, it's not necessarily what I say.
Like I said,
My delivery isn't great, so
That is the hard part that you would have to deal with.
Yeah.
No, and I do believe that the other hard part would be you, since you have the ADHD and you have the overthinking brain. Imagine if you had to figure out what 15 different people were thinking all at once.
oh, I love to sit and watch people. Like that is like my favorite pastime in the
I think-
entire
I think your
universe. So I would
brain
just
would-
sit there, but I'd probably look like a total creep. Honest to goodness,
I think your brain would fry out on that one.
no, I would have fun.
All
If
right.
anything, I would make for interesting television.
That would. I mean, I still think I'd be the better one for that one. But I think we do need to put in a tape for Amazing Race. I
I'm
think-
more animated.
Yeah, you can be. I mean,
Yeah.
but put us in stressful situations, and I don't believe that would be true.
I thrive under chaos.
No, and that's true. I mean, I'm not going to say you don't,
Yes.
but you don't necessarily work well with others during chaos, and I think that's where the good
That's
TV
fine.
would
It's
be.
an individual game. I'm trying to win the
No,
money. They ain't
that's why I'm
trying to
talking
win the
about
money.
Amazing Race, where you and I would have to work together. Oh my god! And then you'd have to do one of those like dancing clog things, and I'd have
And you
to
would
sit there
eat,
and
like,
be
an
waiting,
hour
like,
and
come on,
a-
are you kidding me? I'm like, this is so easy. Oh god, we would so yell at each other.
Like right now, it's giving me
Oh my
anxiety.
god, that would be so much fun.
Oh.
All right, life goals though. I would love to go on Amazing Race. We need
Yeah.